The following live stream may include adult language and themes. How could we know for sure? Hasn't happened yet. Anyway, viewer discretion is advised.
Hey, welcome in, everybody. Welcome, adventurers. We are back for another installment of Ascensia. How are we feeling, players?
Ready to go. Let's do
Ganz
this.
toll. Yeah.
I am joined by three of my favorite people to play D&D with, Katie, James, and Meg. And if you missed last week, you should go back and watch it when you get a chance. But if you're here right now, stick around. Last time, our party ventured deep into the bowels underneath the observing spire on a quest for some potential armor, some loot that was stashed down there while the party is waiting for Drix to join them. They wandered down, solved some riddles, and really made me think and scratch my head on how to yes and their very creative problem solving. And now there's a new thing in the world that I don't even really know how it's gonna turn out, but time will tell. We headed back upstairs and we're hanging out. I think we have it's going to be about a day. I imagine we'll probably skip forward in time a little bit to get to the inevitable arrival of Drix, but I figured I would give you all some space to decide how you wanted to spend the next little bit. Welcome in. What are we doing? The game's yours.
Well, I think when we left off, Odessa was about to go read
She's going to go do some
about
reading.
Everyone's Bane. Yeah. And I don't know if we want to do that here or have that wave our hands and say it happened off screen.
I believe the decision was that it was going to be, it happened.
Cool. I guess while she's doing that, another thing that also happened is Dimitra went and got more food. So for her little banquet for them, so that we can eat while Odessa tells us what she found out.
Okie dokie. So we're hanging out in Armac's place, listening to Odessa talk about Evram's Bane.
I don't know where else to start. Sounds as good a place as any, yeah?
Okay, so in the go on, I guess she goes back down to the library and does the same thing that we did session before last, and looks around for some books. She learns that Evram was the Titan. That is the city, or the name where the name Titanfell came from, and that he was slain by a Fey transplant that lived on the material plane. The name of this particular warrior, though, seems to have been stricken from history. They are just referred to as the warrior in all of the text. And there's a story one specific story, the one that has the most detail to it, is about this warrior vying for the hand of a princess, and he thus quested to make himself an impervious set of armor and indestructible weapons to slay the most prized prey in hopes of impressing her. Lo and behold, she was not impressed. He brought trophy after trophy, each growing larger and more impressive, but again, she was not impressed until finally he sought to slay a titan called Evram. And in doing so, when the titan fell, his body hit the ground with such force that it rendered the princess's kingdom to ruins. And thus the warrior scattered his suit of armor and weapons and wandered the lands alone.
It is so sad.
At least he did not go blind like that one maiden's partner.
Yeah, and I guess a good thing that the princess didn't wind up just wandering in the wilderness with twins, huh?
Not
Precisely.
entirely certain that blindness is better than heartbreak, but that's
Wandering
That is-
with your sight or wandering without your sight, I pick with.
and I suppose the tale is a strike against courtly love, at least.
I mean, from what I can tell, princesses aren't really all they're cracked up to be anyway.
Neither was the warrior, from what I can tell.
Who said
Who said that?
Wow. So, I guess it wasn't just his armor that got scattered. It was like his whole person. She's gonna look askance at the chest.
Yeah,
that he locked the arm up in.
every now and again you do hear a kind of thudding knock from inside it. Not really aggressive or anything, just like it's like restless arm syndrome every now and again.
I
I've had
bet.
enough. Go ahead. Sorry.
I bet that somewhere around here there is a framework mannequin of some kind that we could put the arm on, and we will gradually put the whole thing together.
I don't want to stick the arm on a mannequin. That's horrifying. It's just gonna be like constantly.
Well,
But not not in a trunk where no one can see it. It's gonna be stuck to a creepy mannequin.
yes, but how would you feel if you were stuck in a dark trunk while we went searching for the rest of your body?
Comfortable.
Are you being honest?
Yes. If it was just my arm, I don't need my severed arm to be on display.
Odessa, give me a perception check.
Not certain we need to live with the telltale thud on a regular basis.
The telltale arm.
23.
You notice that there are at least 3 Dimitra-sized chests in close proximity.
All right, let's test this theory. She's gonna go open one and gesture. Here you go.
No, I was talking about
That's
just
how
my
you-
arm.
That's how you yes and.
Just my arm. I'm not gonna put just my arm in there.
What if that was your entire consciousness was within just your arm until your body could be put back together? We don't know.
I mean, it's not like it can see. It doesn't have eyeballs. It can't smell. It can't talk. It can't eat. It's fine.
Okay, I think
Michael,
this is cruel.
I just want to say I am. It's only been a couple of days, and I am weary of aggressive thuds outside of my current base.
You need more aggressive thudding in your life?
No more. No more.
No,
aggressive
no more. Are you
thuds.
sure?
No more.
Because I can definitely.
I'm gonna establish a red line now.
Okay, all right. I appreciate it. All right, okay. Good to know.
Honestly, I'm not really that concerned about the arm being trapped in the trunk. I feel like we've got other things to be concerned about.
Not wrong, but also if there is some sort of sentient being, that is rather callous of you, Dimitra.
Yeah, I'm just gonna start looking for something like what I'm talking about, like a mannequin or something.
Okay, give me an investigation check.
I can't see through the light. 15.
Yeah. You find something that will work. It's not exactly as you. It's not really a mannequin. It's kind of a dress form.
Yeah, exactly.
It's something that Armac keeps his robes on, his cloaks on. But he was wearing his dress cloak, so it's vacant right now.
Okay. So I'm gonna go over to the trunk and take the arm and out of the trunk.
Okay.
And I'm going to first present it to the shoulder area of the dress form, since it seems to contain some life of its own, and just see what happens.
High or low?
High.
When you hold it up to the form, nothing happens.
Okay.
It every now and again it wriggles a little bit in your hand, but not as if it's reacting to anything.
Okay. Then I'm gonna pin it.
Okay.
You're gonna
Pin the
pin
arm
it?
on the dress form?
Yes.
That's a fun
I don't.
Isn't that gonna hurt?
Well, I'm not
Well,
sure, but it wasn't able to hold on by itself, so.
So you try to so when you hold it up there, will say yes, there are some pins. Well, that Armac is the kind of guy that just has pins in his dress in this dress form thing.
Look, he's a dressmaker on the side.
Well, when
it's
you
fine.
go to stick the pin in, it just bends.
Oh, that is interesting. And now we know. We would never have known if we did not try this. Maybe I shall fasten it onto here with maybe some rope.
Yeah.
Just like tie it
You can
around
probably
the
do that, or
end
a
of the
belt or
arm and then,
something.
yeah.
Sure.
Is
Yeah.
the arm made of wood, right?
So it no. I'm trying to like think of how to describe it in terms that make sense. Have you?
Right?
Yes, but only like ironwood. It's very light, but it is very hard, and it is not a piece of armor. Like it is an arm with armor growing out of it. Like it's. I don't want to say it's like Groot because that creates a like that's not it at all. But like if Groot, instead of just tree branches, grew armor on his arm. And it's very, very hard. It's like ironwood. Ironwood is a very hard wood. hard wood.
Thank you for that PSA.
You're welcome.
Thank you for giving us an episode of Blue Planet.
You're welcome. So Odessa, give me a survival check. Let's see how well you tie this knot around this severed arm. Or grown arm. Severed? Not really severed.
17.
Yeah, you tie it on there. It might not be the prettiest, but it's on there. It's, every now and again it. Like that.
So, putting aside the very creepy armor
I don't
thing
like that.
just for a moment, Dimitra, have you ever actually taken the time to read that book we went to all that trouble to steal?
Whoa. Wow. I don't think I have. I opened it before, and that's when the Raven Queen, as an owl, came, like the magic illusion of her came out. And I didn't really have to read it.
Is that when you made me look for water?
Yeah, when I made you look for water.
So that was a particularly traumatic experience for me. I do wish you would, actually peruse the volume that we went to all that trouble for.
You want me to read it? You do. You, Vigo. I would have thought
I
you'd want me
mean-
to, like, burn it, destroy it, throw it in a fire.
What's the
I
point
think you
of
should
stealing-
read it first.
What's the point of stealing something if you're going to just throw it away?
Odessa's in the background continuing to like experiment. She's gonna like offer the hand some water just to see how it reacts. She's gonna try some different like tactile stimulation just to see what happens.
I tell you what, you give me a list of specific things and I will tell you how it reacts.
Amazing.
You don't have to do that right now. You can sit and you can think for a second and make your
Those
list.
were the things that I was
Oh,
starting
that's it.
with.
Well, different tactile things is very broad, so I wasn't sure if you had specific things.
Well, yeah, like find something soft, like or like a feather, and then put with something more like a rod or a pin, and then something, I don't know, that just different tactile things I can find around in different areas to see if there are reflexes, and then she's gonna try to like shake its hand, see what happens. You know, stuff like that.
Are you trying to shake its hand? Are you going to try to put the rod in its hand?
Oh, yes. She wants to see if it'll grab it.
Which are you doing first? Shaking its hand or rod?
I'm going to use a not my hand first.
Yes. As soon as the rod goes close to where its hand is, it grabs it and it will not let go.
Oh, how fun. I'm going to find something else to try to hand it.
You can't get the, well, what else are you going to find?
I want to find something a completely
roll-
different shape.
Roll me another investigation.
I want to find
While
something
she's
like
looking
round,
around.
like a globe.
While she's looking, I'm going to answer this question that I was asked.
Yes, 16. I didn't mean for this to become a thing. I was just describing background activity.
Okay. Well, I think it's like Michael also suggested just write this stuff down and then like you could read it out later too. Just as an idea. Anyway,
Yeah, I'm here for your experiments.
I was just trying to walla walla.
I mean, yeah, I guess you read it, but I don't see why I need to read it now. Like,
Did you have something better to do?
Aren't we going on a very dangerous mission after this? You might never get the chance.
well, I mean, she's kind of like
Do you
gets
not
the
want
book out
to
and is
read it?
looking at it.
You're looking at the book? Are you
Yeah.
opening it or just
No,
holding it and looking at it?
she's just
Okay.
like, hesitantly getting it out of her bag and just kind of like fiddling with it, kind of like, you know, this. She's not opening it. She just kind of, I have a book in my hands. You know, it's just it's a very important book. It's a very special book.
You want me
It
to
shouldn't
read
just
it?
be opened, you know, lightly. It should be momentous, right? This is only the book containing the story of the thing that I've been looking for since we were basically children.
Do you want me to read it to you? I have a very good
No.
narrative voice tucked away in here
No.
somewhere.
No, I don't want you to read it.
I would like that.
Well, I don't know that it'll even open for you, remember?
There's only one way to find out. I don't want to do anything you don't want me to do. I just want you to face whatever it is you need to face. We can't hide our heads in the sand about this one.
It's just the last time I opened this book, I kind of changed everything.
Dimitra, give me a wisdom saving throw.
That's not great. Oh, why I didn't open up my roll 20, and that's where my character sheet lives. That was silly. So hold, please. I am proficient in wisdom saves, surprisingly, because warlocks are proficient in wisdom saves, which seems strange. of all the things to be proficient in.
Hmm.
And they're not proficient in con saves. Like, you would think that a warlock would be proficient with con saves.
Rogues are proficient in intelligence saves, so
That makes sense, because intelligence is, like, often where, like, skill-based things come from.
well, I have a -1 to intelligence, so it's not super helpful.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see. I hear you now. No, that is not helpful for you. But like that's like the only thing wisdom wise that I am proficient in as a warlock. Which is very strange. It's loading.
Oh,
Sorry.
I see.
Oh, apparently I'm not proficient in wisdom saves. I'm proficient in dexterity and charisma. So that is just a straight up 4.
Wow. This is you're recalling, some trauma. So I'm going to say that you probably hyperventilate a little bit.
Oh.
You definitely get some beads of sweat on your forehead. When we do things in these games that have profound impacts, it's important to remember that impact can revisit us later on. So your next saving throw, no matter what it's going to be, will be at disadvantage.
Okay.
As you recall this traumatizing memory.
Last time you opened the book, you were alone. This time, we're here. So, how bad could it be?
I mean, I guess that's a fair point. Can someone get me a drink?
Uh,
A real
No, not the spider guy.
After a moment, one of the small spiders just like slowly lowers down, and as it turns in the air, it's holding a bottle.
Okay, thank you. And she's just gonna swig straight from it first, and then hold it out like anyone else drinking with me while we apparently do this.
If it helps.
No, not if it helps. Like, if you don't
It
want to,
helps.
then don't do it.
I want to help you. If it helps, I will take a swig.
Or we could have glasses. Hey, Mr. Spider Thing, glasses.
No,
please.
don't ask him. Just don't. No, I've got some in my pack. It's fine. I bring them for such an occasion. There you go. No, your services are not needed here. Thank you. All right. Went up the spout again, as it were.
Okay. She's gonna look at both Odessa and Vigo. I guess we're doing this.
No, you're doing it, but we're here for you.
Yes, you are doing that. I am feeding this hand things to hold.
And I am going to give unhelpful suggestions to Odessa. Have you tried planting it in a pot?
I suggested that last night and you guys blew me off. Oh my gosh. I will look for a pot.
This is why they're unhelpful suggestions. Go ahead.
Okay. I guess on the count of 3, and she's gonna put her hand on the cover. 1, 2. She's gonna take a long swig.
When she does that, Vigo will put his hand on hers and say, "We're here," and then pull it away.
She's gonna set it down. 3, and then just tear it open.
All right, so when you open the book, most of the pages are blank. There is a message on the inside cover that only it kind of reveals itself in this sort of iridescent sort of sheen. And I'm sending you the text of what it says, Katie.
Is Dimitra the only one who can see it?
Yes.
Cool. So yeah, at first she will kind of look at the page.
I'm sorry. If either of the other two touch the book, you have to tell me.
No, I'm not. I'm not
Like,
going to touch it.
declare it.
Close enough by putting my hand down, but no, I'm not touching.
she's gonna be at first like taken aback that the pages are blank and like, what? Huh? Like, that's weird. And then right as she's about to like start flipping the pages, she'll notice the inscription and she is going to read it out loud. Speak softly of tonight, though it thrilled me beyond reason. The court of lantern light welcomed me with open arms and strange smiles. Book pages danced in the wind like moths, catching fire mid-air. That I might be one of them, even briefly, stirs a longing I cannot name. Remembers and dreamers twined around me, pressing gifts into my hands. My laughter felt real, not borrowed, not rehearsed. Name after name they shared, though I know none were true. And yet, their falseness felt more honest than most truths. True grace hides in illusion, perhaps. Form shifts freely here, and no one stares when it changes. And she's gonna glance up at Vigo for a second. Unmake the lie if it means I may return unchanged. 1 second, the cat wants out.
Indeed. So how are you at Arcana, Dimitra?
Good.
Katie, give me an Arcana check.
If the dice will be kind to me,
Yeah.
that was my next save, so it's at disadvantage.
No, it's not a save. It's just a check.
No,
Right?
no, it's a check.
Oh.
Yeah, not a save.
Oh. Well, both rolls were shitty anyway.
Oh.
That was an 8. I rolled a 2. So my Arcana's pretty good. I just rolled a 2.
Whiff. We will say that the apprehension leading into this is clouding your thoughts a little bit.
Makes sense.
Odessa, what have you tried to stick in the arm's hand?
I wanted to find something round, like a ball or a globe.
It does not let go of the rod to swap out for the ball.
Then I want to hand it some kind of box. And then I'm going to offer it a gem.
Does not let go of the rod.
Cool.
Well, that is clear as mud.
Which one?
What?
Your passage or her experiment?
What is Odessa doing?
Oh,
What is-
trying to hand the arm things and see what happens.
This is
It
so
randomly
creepy.
swings the rod around.
Ooh. No.
Oh
no, I don't
boy!
like that.
I'm going to do some like parrying with my halberd, like I'm sword fighting with a child.
It hits. I mean, it's clumsy and it's not. It can't see and it doesn't have any senses. So, but you didn't. When it does strike, it strikes hard.
Strong.
And if your halberd wasn't magical, it might be too hard.
Whoa!
Yeah.
You guys, this arm is really strong.
Odessa, I'm kind of like doing a thing here.
Continue.
I mean, to be fair, so was she. It's just a different thing.
Okay, well, this fine. My thing's just more, traumatic, whatever.
What would be
Does it say any?
like,
So she.
nothing? It doesn't say anything else. You do notice that the pages, like, have like a. They look strange. Like it looks. Like the pages aren't supposed to look the way that they look, for lack of a better way of phrasing this.
Is this another riddle?
Could be.
So we have to come up with the answer to the riddle, and then we'll actually. So it's got 2 guards on it. First of all, because remember the museum person said that they couldn't open this book, but I could. So that's, obstacle 1 overcome. But now we have obstacle 2. Do you want to take a look at this, Odessa or Vigo, and see if you can make heads or tails of this inscription? And she's going to turn the book to show you the blank page.
Hey now, no metagaming. If you would take the book, the book. I'm not talking to you.
Oh.
What can we? I mean, we can't see any writing on it, right?
Right.
Right. So, I look at the book and I look back at Dimitra. I don't mean to criticize or call into question. What exactly were you reading?
You don't see what's on the page right in front of your face?
I see a page.
Oh gosh, this is Follow Water all over again.
Well, ultimately I did find it, so perhaps not.
Well, maybe ultimately you'll find. Okay, I'll read it one more time, and then we'll see if there's like a answer in there somewhere.
Well, now before you read it again, let's consider what we know.
Okay.
So first of all, whose book is this exactly, anyway?
It's the Raven Queen's journal.
But yeah. Good
But
job.
is it?
Yes.
We are not going to know until we read it, I think.
Are you telling us that it is, Michael, or?
As far as you know, as far as
Right.
the facts that Dimitra has, yes. From 2 different sources, from 2 different characters. So
We've also learned that the person that approached you claimed to be the Raven Queen's sister, and then we learned that she didn't actually have a sister, but there may be a doppelganger involved of some sort.
So it seems like we just got to read this, and then things will become more clear. Straight from the horse's mouth, as it were.
Are you mocking me?
It's not the
Odessa,
first time,
have
it
you,
won't be the last.
You know this isn't my real voice.
has Odessa rejoined Dimitra and Vigo, or is Odessa still experimenting with the arm?
I mean, I'll come. I've had my fill of riddles, so I can't promise I'll be helpful, but I'll come listen.
All right, let me just read it one more time, and we'll see. I'll read it faster this time. Speak softly of tonight, though it thrilled me beyond reason. The court of lanternlight welcomed me with open arms and strange smiles. Book pages danced in the wind like moths catching fire mid-air. That I might be one of them, I guess one of the book pages, even briefly stirs a longing I cannot name. Rememberers and dreamers twined around me, pressing gifts into my hands. My laughter felt real, not borrowed, not rehearsed. Name after name they shared, though I know none were true, and yet their falseness felt more honest than most truths. True grace hides an illusion, perhaps. Form shifts freely here, and no one stares when it changes. Unmake the lie if it means I may return unchanged.
I will send a text to both
That
of you
is,
as
I
well.
was going to say, I think this is too long for it to have an answer per se. This sounds more like a coding issue. Something about like the first letter of every sentence or whatever. It's so long, it feels like it's probably visual.
Oh, my suggestion was going to be maybe it's like a performance or a theater. Actors.
What is the Court of Lanternlight?
The Court of Dusk, like the Book of Dusk.
Well, I'm looking at the first letter of every sentence, and it's.
Okay, so maybe try something else.
It's STBTRMNATFU.
I'm sorry, what did you say?
FU, Vigo.
I
Maybe
will.
it's all
I
of
will.
the.
I will tell you that that is the right track. That is the right way to think
Speak
about
the
this.
book that remembers my name and yet and true form unmake.
Is Meg saying that or Odessa?
Odessa is saying, well, I mean, I guess Meg is saying it because Odessa can't read it. But if she has we're going to pretend her memory is good enough for that. And she's going to pull out the first word of each line. Speak
a
the
history
book that remembers my name and true form unmake. Try that.
Yeah, that. Oh, okay.
I mean, does it open when I say it? I'm telling her to say it.
I guess not. I guess you're not holding the book, so sure, it doesn't.
Okay. Speak the book that remembers my name and true form unmake.
As you speak the words, the color of the book changes as if like some sort of thin cellophane is like sort of sucked off of it, and the color leaves the pages, and the pages fill with text.
Wow, good one, Odessa.
Thank you.
You thought you wouldn't be any help. Okay,
So the book had
I guess...
a glamour on it. It is split into two distinct types of writing. On one page is just mundane journal entries, presumably by the Raven Queen or whomever the author of this book is. The opposite side are grimoire pages. The pages themselves, the ink seems to be moving in places, and it is even often illuminated. What languages does Dimitra speak?
And now can both Odessa and Vigo see the writing too?
Yeah, they can see the writing too.
Oh, great.
Dimitra.
What language is it written in?
The grimoire is written in several different languages. The book itself is written in Common.
She speaks Common, Sylvan, and Primordial.
Common, Elvish, Giant, Lizard, Folk, Primordial, Sylvan.
You would definitely recognize Primordial. You would recognize Elvish. You would recognize Sylvan. There's another language that you do not recognize of the ones that have been listed.
Is there any thieves' cant?
Thanks, Vigo.
Just, trying to help.
Yeah, there's one thieves' cant pictogram in the corner that's like, I stole this book.
So-and-so was here.
And it's actually Vigo put it there. With Dimitra's backwards turn.
All right. Oh, I gotta figure out the best way to deliver this because it might be too much.
She's just gonna gasp when all the words form, and then she's gonna say, "Can you guys actually see this now?"
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Should I start with reading the journal entries or trying to figure out the spells? It's apparently a spell book.
I don't know.
I guess.
Well, you wanted more information, and we were told that the journal entries would give us some information regarding the experiments that we are, hopefully going to break up on this dangerous mission. So maybe start there so we have information, as much information to tell Drix as possible if we're going to ask him to come with us.
Okay. And she's gonna start reading the first page, but then she's gonna start she's just gonna skim it real quick, and then she's gonna start flipping the pages real fast, and then she's gonna flip them back the other way, and then flip them the other way. She's like, last time I did this, the Raven Queen just appeared in front of me and just told me what I needed to know, and it doesn't seem to be working that way this time.
I'm so sorry. You will have to do your homework the old-fashioned way.
She's gonna turn it upside down and shake it. She's gonna open to a random page and blow on it.
Words on the page, dear, please.
All right, I'm gonna have to send you the entries one at a time.
Oh boy,
that seems like a lot.
There's not. I didn't write that many, but there are.
Sure, you don't want the Raven Queen to just appear and tell me what we need to know.
An entire novella, and Michael's like, I didn't write that many.
It's 50 pages.
Novella might be a strong word.
It might
we'll just
be,
say
though.
that Dimitra flips through to find
Each-
the pages that seem the most relevant.
Each entry is about a paragraph, and I have 9 entries. It's not that much.
That's not
Relax.
terrible.
Mike,
That's not
Michael's
terrible.
he's about to send you the stand.
I don't suppose
Shut
you can
up,
put this in
James.
my. Can you put those in when you have the chance, Michael? Can you put those in my Roll20 notebook?
Yeah.
Just when you have a
Yes.
chance.
Not tonight.
No, not tonight. I did not
Yes,
expect it
I
tonight.
absolutely can. Yeah, I'll make a PDF and make a handout for it.
That would be wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome. While Dimitra is hunkered down with the book, what are Odessa and Vigo doing?
Do you want to fist bump this arm?
Not especially, but
Will you do it anyway?
I suppose in the name of science.
Yes! For science!
Just sort of stick my hand out like.
Give me a strength saving throw.
Am I able to assist in any way?
Give me a perception check.
Can I give myself bardic inspiration?
No, I mean, not after the fact. No.
All right, that's fair. That's totally fair.
27.
Cool.
Yeah, Odessa, you can help.
Yes! I'm here for you. I'm not going to ask you to do something
you may
potentially
roll with
dangerous
advantage.
without trying to protect you if I can.
So what'd you say, Michael?
Yeah, so you can roll with advantage.
Oh, cool. Oh, thank God, because the second one was a nat 20.
See, you're
Yeah,
very, very welcome.
So it's holding on to that rod, and we'll say that because of that ridiculous perception check, like you can almost hear what would be muscles and sinew tighten up as it goes to like 6-inch punch your fist, and you yank back just in time. Fortunately, it can't reach very far.
Okay, I don't know how much that proved because yes, it did go to fist bump me, but
Very,
No,
very aggressively. Yes.
not the friendliest way, I might say.
Yes. I kind of want to extend my hand to try to shake it. I don't know if it has a way to recognize. I thought the fist bump because it was already holding, but I.
Do you know how to speak with plants?
Yes. Is it a plant?
I mean, it appears to be of ironwood-ish material. I would say speak with dead, but it has no mouth.
Can I speak with it? Voice in the sky?
Are you casting speak with plants?
So
Or are you asking me if you can speak with it if you cast?
No,
speak?
I have speech of beast and leaf. So I have the ability to communicate in a limited manner with beasts and plants.
Okay. So how do you describe how that works for Odessa? What does Odessa do to call on this ability?
Oh,
I can't imagine it's something that's just like always on, right? Because otherwise,
well,
you'd never get anything done.
well, kind of. I mean, it's like having a conversation. Just because I can talk to them doesn't mean I'm always talking to them. So I would just focus in on the arm and say, "Hello, friend."
So you don't get any words back, but you do get something. There is some kind of communicative. It kind of sounds like a lot of voices all at once, kind of chittering off of each other and echoing back. Like maybe, like if you imagine being like in a cave and there's a bunch of people really far away talking
Okay.
to each other really quickly, and you can tell that there's words being said, but you can't. It's the distortion is too much.
Okay. I'm going to send it. So this is a combination of like vibes and a tiny bit of like telepathy is how I imagine this works. So instead of directly speaking more, she's going to send images of herself taking care of like her garden and her plants and things, and images that let them know that she's safe, she's a safe person to be around, and she won't let anything happen to them if they wanted to maybe calm down and speak one at a time.
Give me a persuasion check.
And I have advantage because of speech and beast and leaf on any charisma check made to influence them.
Now, are you telling Vigo that you're doing this?
Sure. I mean, if you are interested in what I am doing, then yeah.
Hoping, so yes.
Then yes.
Then Vigo will say, I believe in your ability to communicate with this semi-planked thing. Odessa, I believe in you specifically, and you can have a D8 of Bardic Inspiration.
Sweet. Okay, so 5 and 13 is 18 plus 5 is 23.
So you get the sense that it doesn't understand you, or that you just can't be heard. It's not necessarily that it is listening to you and ignoring you. It's like you're speaking to something that cannot understand you, like it is incapable.
Okay. I think maybe perhaps we will have better luck communicating once more or all of the pieces are together.
At least we appear to be on the right path.
Yes.
Katie, it is worth noting that the Discord fucked my formatting, and they're meant to be titles at the front of each of them.
I figured that out. Thank you.
I apologize.
Dude, Discord's terrible for pasting text.
It's really bad. It's real bad. I'm not paying for Nitro though, Discord. Screw off. So yeah, like I said, you get the sense that it just cannot, it is incapable of understanding you. You don't get the impression that it's upset though, even though it sounds like lots of chittering voices and there's sort of an excitable air to that description, I guess. You don't get the impression that it's upset, and that the movements really are sporadic.
Excellent.
Sporadic. Get it?
I think we can safely conclude that this arm does not have the amount of autonomy that it normally would if combined with all of its other body parts.
You said it was making noise?
No, like to me.
Yeah, when she's like
when I start
using
listening.
her speech of beast and leaf, she can hear some noise coming from it.
Okay, but I can't hear like noise. Okay. Besides the noise of them messing with the arm.
Right.
What are you two doing with that arm?
Learning.
Science.
Okay.
Bonding.
Yes.
Oh, I like that. I do want you two to be friends. That's good. Or do you feel like you're friends yet? Has it worked?
I feel more of a scientific implement within the grasp of Odessa's control, but I'm sure the next step is close friendship.
Well,
Good.
it is a very clear sign of trust he is giving me, and I do not plan to fail him, so...
Aw, I love that. And, well, and now you're so close to holding hands.
How close are you two standing to the arm?
Oh, pretty
Me?
close.
Or them?
I mean, I suppose, yeah. We're
Pretty
right
close.
there.
It swings out and smacks Odessa in the thigh.
Oh.
Not intentionally, but it does hurt.
It doesn't mean it.
It seems like it's getting kind of handsy.
That was the pits.
I'm not gonna make a wood joke. I'm not gonna do it.
Don't your face balls.
Oh. Do
Do
you need
not-
me to twist your arm?
Don't make me turn this stream around. I'll do it.
I'd give up a limb to move past this conversation.
I hate you all.
Well, have you learned anything about this arm with all of that science?
We learned that it needs the rest of its body, probably. It does not appear to really mind being anywhere, and it likes to hold things, and it does not have control over the amount of force that it is using. It's just kind of flailing without the rest of its body. So just, make sure you give it a wide berth.
So sounds like it probably wouldn't mind being stuck in a trunk.
I don't know about that. I have no evidence to support that conclusion.
In its flailing, it flicks the rod directly across the room towards Dimitra.
I would say we have our answer on that.
It
Not in the
flicks
box.
the rod.
Yes, it was holding a rod.
It
just
a rod.
threw it
at
me.
It threw it at me?
Yes.
Dex save?
No, it was just shy of your AC, so it just kind of hit the ground near you.
So she's just gonna look at it. Can it hear me?
Twould seem.
Huh. Have you tried singing to it, Vigo?
No.
Or doing like a speech or orating at it?
Yes,
Well,
maybe tell it a story and I will listen and see if the voices change.
What?
Are you hearing voices, Odessa?
Oh, yes, I can talk to plants and animals just a little bit. So I get a sense of like communication from them. It's not speech all the time, but they understand me and I can get a vibe off of them. So.
Oh, what's the vibe of the arm?
Like there is a crowd of people all talking over each other somewhere I cannot get to because they're very distracted and focused.
So like a whole army of people?
Not necessarily. It did not sound militant or have an aggressive vibe. I am just going to plow through and continue answering your question literally.
I gotta admit, your insistence on just continuing to drive through is pretty disarming.
Before I
never get to get in on it, so it's usually at me.
James.
Do you need a hand with that, Michael?
I'm going to quit.
Before I try and communicate with the plant arm, let me look for something. And Vigo's going to like tear through the library looking for a scroll of Speak with Plants.
Oh, are you going down to the library?
Where are we in the library?
No, we're in like a lab
An
area.
Armax lab.
Yeah.
You can't take anything out of the library anyway.
Oh, I'll tear through the lab looking for a scroll of Speak with Plants.
Give me an investigation check.
That might be something that Armac has laying around.
Yeah, it could be.
I'm gonna pump myself up and say, "You can do this, man. I believe in you. You can find this scroll."
Remember that time that you found good potions in the pantry where the potions are?
The greatest storyteller this realm has ever known.
As you do that, Dimitra's gonna like clap her little finger symbols for you. Oh.
That's a natural 20.
Nice.
Yeah. You know, it takes you a minute to kind of like work your way around the lab area to figure out, okay, there's parchments over here. Look, tubes, ink, scrolls. Yeah, you find a scroll of Speak with Plants because you'll never be accused of not yes-handing.
So, casting Speak with Plants on myself, come through my book of stories and find one about a mighty oak tree and how it withstood the seasons and the attempts of man to chop it down. It was such a strong, noble oak. And I will tell that story.
Give me a performance check. You may do it with advantage.
I'm just gonna keep burning through my bardic inspiration dice too.
Oh yeah, yeah. Live it up.
You told that story so well. You were inspired.
Well, I only got a 6 on the dice, but it's a 21 overall.
Wow.
Yeah, we'll say that the chittering. Well, again, there is a lack of a general feeling that no matter what we do to try to communicate specificity to this thing, it is not going to be able to understand us, but it understands the intention and the implication. And there is a calming. Now the din of those disembodied echoing voices takes on a more almost crickets, the nighttime forest almost kind of vibe.
I put it to sleep.
Yeah, it stops flailing too.
And not from
nice.
boredom, mind you. It was just really well told, and now it's sleepy.
Oh.
That
So
being said,
relaxing.
Dimitra, what did you learn?
Oh, no. What y'all are doing, what you guys are doing is
No, it's
way
not.
more fascinating.
It's absolutely not.
I think that's probably a good spot. We go to break. We go to break, right? It's about time, right? 8. Yeah, let's go to break. You can think on that. Decide how the best way to proceed. And yeah, we'll be back in 10. Throw the timer up there and don't go nowhere, because we'll be here. And then it was on the outside. Welcome back, everybody.
How did it get there?
I don't know. As is the custom around these parts, we hope you had a pleasant bathroom break. Before we left, the party was engaged in some, what we'll call these probably close to downtime activities. Odessa has been doing experiments with the weird severed arm that they grew from a piece of armor that they found. That's weird. And Dimitra is reading some journal entries in the Book of Dusk, a journal that seemingly belonged to the Raven Queen that is half journal, half grimoire. And before we went away, Vigo asked Dimitra a question.
What am I learning from this thing? Well, it's basically completely useless.
Oh.
Well, I'm reading this and she talks about like all these different people, but she doesn't. There's only one person named, this dryad named Calathria, but she also references a sister, and then she just starts using she pronouns willy-nilly, and I have no idea if she's referring to her sister or Calathria or somebody else entirely. She also talks about being in love with someone. She references a changeling priest, so that's kind of cool, but I don't know if the person she's in love with is this changeling priest,
Well,
or if it could be what's his face from the cemetery, but again, no names. And that guy, so the person that she's in love with, I think she's referring to him. So in one entry she says that I am in love with him, that should terrify me. And in the next entry, she says, they bound him. They bound him. I watched the court sign the edict, said he was too dangerous. So this person is bound. And the wood elf that we saw in the cemetery didn't seem particularly bound to me. Like, it sounds like a total tragedy that this happened. I don't know.
Way.
It doesn't say. It just says that they bound him. The court signed the edict. There was glowing ink burning in the air, and he disappeared into silence. What does disappear into silence mean? I don't know. Do you know?
He could have been banished to another plane.
Or
It could be, or just silent.
I'm stuck on the bound thing. If it was a changeling, perhaps it was
bound
limited.
But I
into a
don't know
form.
if this person is the same person as the changeling priest, because we've got 3 different she's referenced in this thing, and I don't even, or 2 different she's. I don't know. It's all very confusing.
Well, now, I'm very confused because this. Does the Raven Queen have a sister or not? Seems to be.
Exactly, that's the other confusing thing. It's like some people say she has a sister, some people say she doesn't have a sister, some people say it's just a person pretending to be her sister the whole time.
I guess we can ask her before we kill her.
But what does
I
what does
said that out
she
loud,
say?
didn't I?
Well,
In
do we
the
need to kill the
book.
Raven? Do we need to kill the Raven Queen, or do we need to kill the Raven Queen? Right?
Why not both?
Well, it doesn't. I don't know if they both deserve it.
I would wager that they do, but I leave that up to you.
Well, okay. Well, it just sounds like right now that you think everyone who has power you don't understand just deserves to die, Vigo, and that doesn't seem very fair.
It
That's
is
a great
not.
timing.
It seems actually quite magnanimous. Everyone, I'm an equal opportunity.
Odessa
hater.
has power. Does she deserve to die?
No, but she's not. Okay, fair point, but
Thank you.
will not delve into my philosophy in the middle of this conversation. That seems
Good
inappropriate.
idea. Anyway, as I was saying, Vigo. So she also has this other. So this one of these she's that she talks about says, if your name is says something about the first spell was innocent, to anchor memory and to preserve. Right, I know it's very foreboding. And she, whoever she is, says, if your name is forgotten, you will become unstuck. And they sewed glyphs into silk, and it made their dreams go kind of crazy.
Ooh. That is interesting.
And then she talks about like the shadows growing longer when she speaks. And now here's the most interesting thing, right? We're over here thinking that the Raven Queen and her sister are Fae, right? Listen to this last entry. I am beginning to understand the value of stories to the Fae. They do not bind with contracts, not like we do.
Mm-hmm. That would indeed indicate that the narrator of this journal is not Fae.
Right, exactly. And then, the rest of this is fairly interesting, where they say the Fae bind with narratives. They decide what happened based on what makes the best tale. I am trying to write myself into their myth. I do not know if they realize it yet.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And that's
Vigo
the
takes a
final
very-
entry.
Well,
Very
that makes
long.
sense then why you were asked to collect them all, because if that's how she got her powers, by writing herself into the history and the lore, it would make sense that to take her power, you would remove her from the same.
That does make sense.
Perception checks, everyone.
Wow, for once. That's my best roll of the night.
23.
That is an 18.
14.
Here comes Drix, y'all.
Well,
Here comes trouble. Oh,
Here comes Trix.
off in
Really
the
bad.
distance. I mean, so reminding you that the floor that we are on has like an open kind of floor plan, and there are some balconies on all of the sides of the room have balconies that can go outside, and one of which that you saw Armac leave, and you followed him, was like a landing pad. You hear a sound coming from that direction. Sounds like a dragon.
He is here.
What do you want to do?
Go run.
Okay, so Odessa goes running. What are Vigo and Dimitra doing?
I
I'm sorry, who?
guess we should go see what that is.
Okay.
Off in the distance, the eastward distance towards Titanfell, it is now nighttime. We will say that we have been playing with severed arms and reading books for most of the
All
day.
day.
The sun has set, so it is evening, like nighttime. And off in the distance, you can make out a faint green glow. You can hear the sound, the rush of wings. You can hear what sounds like a dragon making various dragon noises as
Okay,
it
have we
whisks
ever
through the air.
like experienced a dragon before? I thought dragons like didn't exist in this world.
Oh
Or,
no,
like,
they do.
hadn't for a long time.
Dragonborn have it. Dragons exist. Yeah, there was a dragon that attacked Karjit. That's who Drix slayed in the big prophecy stuff. Dragons
Okay.
exist. They're rare, but they
They're like
exist.
super rare. Okay.
They're super rare, but they do exist.
Yeah, there was like a dragon, a faux dragon that was fought in the museum at some point, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, and there you have heard about dragons in the mountains here in Eldaria, and you heard about the Fearbog. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but the Fearbog back in
On the
North
council.
Vale, his wife was killed by a dragon.
Right.
Okay.
The
Great.
painter.
You're welcome. The painter, yes. So you hear these noises. Again, if you were to hear these noises and make a wager, you'd probably wager, oh, that sounds like a dragon. As this visage gets closer, though, you notice that it is not a typical dragon. It is a very large skeletal dragon. The sinew spreading across its wings is this almost glowing liquid. It's just kind of got a sliminess to it, we'll say. As this skeletal dragon circles around up above the tower and gradually makes its way down, and it lands there on this platform, and it is an ancient dragon skeleton that has been reanimated. If we were to have any sort of recall from our caustic crab battle, we would recall that there was a dragon skeleton there on the island. Off the top back section of the skeleton, Drix hops down onto the ground. As he walks towards the three of you, he reveals a lantern that is attached to his hip. He reaches down and opens up the lens in the front, and all of that green, liquidy, sinewy, misty, whatever you would call it. I'm sure if you close your eyes and think back on sword and sorcery animated films, you know exactly what it looks like. It all collapses out of this dragon skeleton, the bones clashing down on the ground into a heap as this green glowing substance pools on the ground and moves up into the lantern. Drix, very obviously weary, closes the lens, leaning on his staff, and then looks at the three of you. I made good time.
Are Max gonna be mad about that mess?
No. He has been bugging me for ages to bring him some dragon bones. Figured
Okay.
2 birds. Is he here?
Oh, he's somewhere. I'm sure we could send for his creatures.
He is not
Hello?
here. You know that he is not here.
Oh,
Yeah.
Titanfell.
Yeah, he told y'all where he was going.
oh yeah.
So I'll give you an opportunity to answer that again. Is he here?
Nope.
No.
Where is he?
He's in Titanfell doing business.
No, he's cleaning up after you.
Do not recall making any messes in Titanfell.
Apparently,
Care to elaborate?
The ramifications of your actions caused some significant distress in Titanfell itself.
Hey, look, he just arrived. He's had a long journey. Maybe we save the hard-hitting questions for after some refreshments. Come on in, Drix. Let's get comfortable. You want a drink? You want something to eat?
I will brew some
Use the bathroom.
tea.
Tea, great. Tea sounds great. And she's gonna shoot Vigo a look. Like, can you cool it?
I was just answering the question, that's all.
Okay, let's all go in and have tea. And she'll usher everyone inside.
Moving back inside, you can tell that there's a lot of fatigue in Drix. His dress is dirty. There are acid burns on his skin. He has some scars. You know how sometimes if a lizard is having bad shed, you'll have those buildups of dead skin. He's looking a little worse for wear. He moves across the room to one of the large tables there, and he pulls a bag out from underneath his arm and sets it, and then he pulls another bag out. This bag is wet and dark colored, like it's got something wet dripping inside of it, and he sets that on the table. It's about the size of a volleyball, maybe. And
That's the table the tea was gonna go on, Drix.
This is not the tea table.
Oh. Okay.
He stares at you for like a minute, and then goes back to taking off some of these things, and he removes this cloak and he sets it down, and he kind of just, and then he moves to another table that's low to the ground. This is the tea table.
Okay.
He goes to sit, and like a beautiful symphony, several spiders come down in synchronized movements and set out some tea for everybody.
What's in the bag?
Which bag?
The goopy one.
Ah, right. He stands up and goes back, and when he gets to the table, he unwraps it. The doppelganger's head.
Oh.
And he sets it.
On
Setting
table?
on. No, he sets it back where it was, like on top of
Okay.
the burlap bag. It is a. Think similarly to the way changelings look. Their skin is white, their pupils are colorless, their hair is usually colorless. Similar to that, but this is much more malformed and gray. It almost has a misshapen quality to it, like almost like a blobfish, but maybe not quite that severe. But it has this thing lacks form. There's a very loose interpretation of what a jawline would be, but it does have two eyes. It doesn't have any kind of nose or ears. Yeah. Figured you would want to ask it some questions. Think that these doppelgangers have something to do with your Raven Queen.
I'm sorry. That was a lot to take in all at once.
Yes, I apologize. I often forget that others are not as used to viscera as I am.
Well, it's also that I can ask it questions. It can still talk.
Not in its current state. I will have to incorporate a bit of necromancy.
Oh, okay, that makes way more sense. Vigo, you seem like you have something you want to say. Now that we all have tea.
Vigo is in that totally pose that you've seen somebody do before, where he's back up against the wall, like arms crossed, one leg up, like just glowering, and just says, "No, by all means, carry on."
Odessa, do you have anything that you want to ask Drix or talk to Drix about now that we have tea?
Well, As you can see, I am frozen.
Oh.
I
Oh,
have not.
yeah.
I
Started
wasn't
talking.
particularly necessary for this part of the role playing, so I didn't stop the conversation because it's gonna mess things
Yeah,
up if I do something
I
about it.
was
But
I was so impressed
I'm
that
totally
you were
fine.
sitting so still.
Yeah. Well,
You
I'm
can
still
I figure
curious.
later we need to talk to him about the whole situation, right? But he seems to want you to do this doppelganger thing right now. So go ahead, ask your
He
questions.
doesn't want you to do anything. He's just here. He has to do big magic to make the doppelganger head talk. So
We don't have to do it.
we don't have to do that now. It's okay. He's not in any hurry, and he's not going anywhere.
This is
head.
this is your guy, Odessa.
Meg, have you clicked your camera off and on again?
No, because it was gonna mess everything up. So just give
It-
you a heads
well,
up.
it's prob-
Heads up, that's
Yeah,
happening.
just quick. Yeah,
Hey,
yeah. I don't know why.
you're not a still image. Yay!
Weird. Anyway.
Didn't seem to mess anything else up. So
That's good.
Small miracles.
So now that you're unfrozen, do you have things that you want to talk to Drix about?
oh well, I mean, of course, but you just got here. I don't know if you need to rest. But obviously, I would like to know more about why you brought us here and what you have found out and what you have been doing. Also, what are Gaia?
You have answered that question, so.
Yes, I basically know what they are, but
Yeah.
what are you? What is your relationship to them? What do you know about them? What have they been doing?
Why are you killing them?
Start with one question at a time.
That's not how Odessa talks. I'm sorry.
That's how conversations happen, though.
He just picks one and
But-
answers, Michael.
But that's the Odessa's not. I get it. That's what Meg's saying is Odessa wouldn't engage in conversation in a normal way. She would ask 16 questions.
Yeah,
Now
it's just
it's up to
really hard.
Drix to
It's just
answer
really
one of
hard to
them.
answer 16 questions.
Pick one, Drix.
I don't even know. First, I was not killing any Gaia.
That giant crab
Gaia.
wasn't a Gaia?
No, that was the Gaia's guardian. The Gaia is what woke up after we killed the crustacean.
People are not happy that it's awake. Why aren't they not happy that it is awake?
No, I do not think it is that they are unhappy because it is awake. I think they are unhappy because it is suddenly aware of the pain that it has been in. He goes back over to the table where his bag is, and he opens up and unwraps. And sitting on the table is a fragment of looks like bone. And if you were to just see it and make an educated guess, it looks like a tooth. This Gaia was a bottom feeder. At some point, it consumed this. He won't touch it. He puts his hand out and it's kind of near it. Strange Shadowfell energy. That is how we were able to track the Gaia, find its den. The doppelganger was posing as an associate of mine in North Vale.
What associate?
They're dead now. It doesn't matter.
I was just curious if it was someone we met. We were in North Vale for a little while.
Dr. Nyla.
Did we
You
meet?
didn't
Not?
meet her.
Okay. No, keep going.
This thing, this tooth, this artifact, tainted the primordial energy that makes the Gaia what it is. The mire has, for countless ages now, grown increasingly toxic, spreading further and further, consuming the borders of more and more lands. Titanfell, more specifically, the bug folk, have ignored these warnings, have ignored these signs, and chosen to expand further and further the borders of their domain. You met my associate, Nyx, when you were in Pinewell.
Mm-hmm.
He theorized that the mire was never meant to be the bastion of toxicity that it has become. Instead, it was meant to be almost like the land's kidney, a filtration system of sorts. And when the Gaia became tainted by this Shadowfell energy, it increased the toxicity. To your question as to why you are here, he moves back over to the tea table now and sits down. And you can tell that there is a very heavy air to him. This continent, Eldaria, is on the brink of great conflict. The Gaia are pushing back against the peoples of Eldaria, but not in a natural sense. There is some force here that is, I hesitate to say controlling them, but it is driving them in some capacity. It is channeling their instinct, their natural tendency to seek territory, to defend, to hunt, and increasing them. The peoples of Threxis, of Titanfell, they do not care for the balance of the natural world, and they will continue to spread and seek more power and more influence. I fear that the coming conflict between the Gaia and the peoples of Eldaria will wipe both of them out. You are here. You are here because I did not know whom else to turn to. At this point, I feel I should inform you that you and Dimitra are not the only ones I sent for. As of this moment, there are at least a dozen others from Karajed that have come at my call. Some of them you know, members of the council or my druid allies. They bring ill tidings from home. What did they, in an official capacity, tell you about your diplomatic endeavors here, Odessa?
When Eldaria appeared in our space where it had not been before, the council thought it prudent to come and meet our new neighbors Just in general, really, and to try to secure some allyship, uh, take some initiative to not give anything a chance to sour between us.
I am curious. According to, you may recall my ally, Seish, the Kharujet has been amassing a naval fleet. Before she made the journey, the last she saw, she said, looked like an invasion force.
Seisha's here.
Yes. Currently down in Akosis.
I have an
seeing to a-
arm she might want to look at.
Hmm.
Invasion
will-
force?
Yes, it seems that this diplomatic effort was something of a ruse.
Oh, well, that's interesting because the people here definitely think you are putting together an army.
Well, I suppose that there is some truth in that, albeit a very small army.
You just
Why are
may
you
want
putting
to
a small army together?
Well, this
Sorry.
coming conflict, so I get it, but I think you need to loop in the people who live here sooner rather than later. Get them on your side so they don't make you a bigger enemy than you already are.
I made an effort at doing so already. The Council of Titanfell is too starkly pulled in three different directions. The people of Outway have understandably many issues: lack of housing, food shortages, the influence of negative entities from the dark market. And on the opposite end, the bug folk, callous and cut off with an abundance. And in the middle, the Myconid, permanently neutral. They speak only for the city. They are only there for the city. They lack cohesion. Three separate peoples pretending to govern together. I could not get them to listen to reason, so I stopped speaking.
Well, Titanfell is not the only city on the continent.
Yes.
It also sounds like I would like to circle back around to the Shadowfell because it sounds like a leak of energy from the Shadowfell has been poisoning the Gaia, causing all of this extra activity. If we could calm that down, which, as you mentioned, there's also Titanfell is feeling it from dark entities from the dark market. Do you know what is in the dark market? An entrance to the Shadowfell.
You don't know that.
Oh, well, I'm pretty sure I heard
Don't
a
we?
rumor.
We know there's.
Dark-
an
We know
entrance
there's
to
one in the
Shadowfell.
cemetery.
You don't know it. You don't know it has anything to do with the dark market. That attachment is not there.
It was in Northvale, wasn't it? Yeah.
Which is
And
just
it's underground. It's in the ruins of Eversun that are under Northvale.
Yes, but just above the city of Titanfell. And if
Yeah.
and we have a mission that is leading us in that direction, it sounds like we might be able to accomplish both. And perhaps if we could take the strain of the Shadowfell's influence off of the city of Titanfell, they would be more inclined to become a team.
I admit I am a bit outside my purview when it comes to these issues with the Shadowfell. I am not a planeswalker. And there is a depressing lack of information on the plane outside of Fey resources.
Well, we apparently have to go there, so.
Why do you have to go there?
Well, there's experiments happening. You know that the doppelgangers are connected to the Raven Queen. That is where they are being made, and we have to
Hmm.
go make it stop.
And there's someone we know is down there, and we gotta ask them a lot of questions.
And you say you have a route to get there?
Yes.
And what sort of precautions are you taking? Planar travel is not particularly easy,
We
and the
were
Shadowfell is not a kind place for the Fae.
we were hoping that you and Armac could help us bolster our chances.
Hmm. Perhaps Armac knows something offhand. I am sure the Living Library could prove a valuable resource in that respect. As I said, the Shadowfell and the Fae are somewhat mystifying to me. My thoughts are here on the material plane, and unfortunately, I am barred from leaving it.
How did that happen?
You see the lantern? He looks over at the table where he set his lantern. It is a long story, but it has to do with the lantern. Do you know much about the death deities? Odessa.
No. No, we did not really do deities where I am from.
Hmm.
Just that one that turned out to be a guy, I guess.
Well, I became an acolyte to Lamenta, and in doing so, I am barred to this plane.
I see.
This is difficult. Have you ever heard of the game Threadwalker?
Have I?
Give me history checks. Probably not, but maybe.
Nope, got a 4.
17?
15.
10 total.
17 will do it. Actually, that's the magic number. And how fitting. So we'll say that when you hear him say that, it's probably the first time you've heard that word in a long time. This is actually a game. It has a number of different names depending on its plane of origin. You know it as Veilstrider. He stands up and kind of in that like I know where something is. I give me a second. Frantic energy kind of moves about Armac's space, and he produces it sort of looks like if you took several chessboards and a mobile and put them together. So imagine several, and they have a translucence to them, and they hang sort of catty cornered. And he produces these pieces, and he sets this thing up, and he starts moving these pieces, and you notice that the planes of the boards, the planes will shift, and the weight and the distribution changes. And he explains that this game was created by, at least here on the material plane, a blind monk. It is meant to symbolize the balance between the planes. Astral boards hover. They are stable, yet only as firm as what lies beneath. Even a whisper on the shadow board. There's a board down on the bottom that has a darker tint to it, and he moves a piece along, and the board shifts, causing the top board to balance a little bit. The pieces moving ever so slightly. This is the world. We are all pieces, crossing veils and threads, shifting weight and seeking meaning in swaying ground. When I became an acolyte to Lamenta, I bound myself to this plane. The Feywild, the Shadowfell, even the elemental plane of fire, they each have their own deities, their own esoteric laws of balance, and they are very fastidious in how well they are guarded. In becoming an acolyte to Lamenta, I have essentially promised not to cross over into anybody else's domain, if that makes sense.
Sure.
I think so. It's kind of heady stuff. I just don't understand what that has to do with what we were doing here.
Well, he was just saying he cannot come to the Shadowfell with us.
I didn't realize that was planes walking. I thought we were just gonna walk over and just be
Well, the
there.
Shadowfell is
It's
another
its own
plane of
plane.
existence,
Yeah,
like
I'm getting that now.
like the Feywild.
Okay, well that's a bummer. But is there anything else you could do to help? Since, as you said, it's not a very friendly place.
I am unsure of what sort of help I can offer you other than counsel.
What an unmitigated waste of time this whole thing has been. And it's
Oh,
my fault, because I suggested it.
I thought your face was going to break.
If you have questions, Vigo, I'm happy to answer them.
Dimitra's gonna drink her tea.
You, not so much questions as commentary that I don't think is going to be particularly productive in the current environment, so...
Hey, Dimitra, do you know that? Do you know
Are
that
you always
canister
so
you have?
passive aggressive?
Not
The
always.
what that I have?
I just don't want to cause problems for my friends.
I am unsure what sorts of problems you think you would cause.
My tongue is a habit of putting me and those around me in positions of peril that I perhaps don't wish to engage at the moment.
As you wish. Drix seems wholeheartedly unbothered by Vigo.
Wow, I'm not shocked.
There is a smith in North Vale. They were said to be able to capture pieces of the Phaelite in the weapons they make. I cannot speak to the truth of this. It is something of an abstract. But I do know in the reading that I have done that the Phaelite is the antithesis to the Shadowfell. It stands to reason that such weapons, or perhaps even armor,
A
may
visit,
have some benefits.
a visit to Calith, you say?
That's the apprentice, but points for remembering her name.
She is also
Right.
she would be apprentice to this smith, would she not?
You said there's armor in North Vale. Is it related to that thing? And she's gonna point at the arm on the mannequin.
What is that?
I think it's
He
armor.
immediately goes over. Drix is very fascinated.
Yep.
Mm,
So
not
far,
armor.
I have handed it things, but the only thing it wanted to take was the rod. It does not seem to control its movements very well. It also moves with a lot of force, so watch out.
Is this
So apparently it's a plant.
It does seem to have some plant-like qualities. Is this something of Armax? Where did this come from?
This came from the catacombs, and we believe it is a piece of Ephraim's bane. I do not know if the arm belongs to the warrior or if something in the armor, the nature of the armor grew something new, but we will find out more when we find the other pieces.
Fascinating.
Okay. So that's not the armor you're talking about. Okay.
Do you see?
Just trying to make sense of things.
Do you see any Phalite in this armor?
Well, it's the warrior's fae, isn't he?
Well, I'm just asking because I assume you would be able to see it if it were
Do
there.
I see phalite? Okay. Okay.
It's a good thought.
Thanks. I'm trying to put it all together. Okay, so there's armor and there's something in Northvale that you think will help?
A smith, yes, who
Okay.
their weapons and armor might be of benefit to you, yes.
Okay. Cool.
Vigo, I wanted to give you a warning. If you all decide to venture into the dark market, it seems that the Shrouded have set up quite a presence down there.
Oh, the Shrouded have they?
Yes.
Wonder how that happened.
Vigo, don't be rude.
Remember when they were just a small thieves guild and hadn't been destroyed and replaced by the monstrosity that exists now? You remember that?
I suppose I... And he just sort of stares at Vigo.
What's
Out
it
with it.
like being so hubristic? I have to know.
It is exhausting.
I can only imagine.
I, to be honest, expected better of you from what Dimitra told me.
What do you mean better of him? He's just asking you a question.
Is that all he's doing? No, it seems to me like he's stewing.
Well, let's questions then. Did you talk with the people of Titanfell before you went gallivanting about the Brightmire?
I did seek the counsel of several people there, yes.
And what did they say?
Well, some of them responded in an overzealous manner.
Oh, please, describe for me what you mean by overzealous.
There is a religious fanaticism associated with the Gaia from some individuals here.
Fanaticism.
Yes, is this a word that is not in your vocabulary, Vigo?
Oh no, I understand it perfectly. It's just ascribing a value judgment to somebody else's religion.
Well, regardless, I would tend to describe people that self-immolate or starve themselves to death as being somewhat fanatical, but I suppose that is something of a subjective opinion. I'll let you make that judgment for yourself when you go and talk to them. At any rate, I told the people of Titanfell that the problem of the Brightmire's expansion was only going to get worse, and that if the Gaia there were left unattended, all of Titanfell would eventually be swallowed by the mire. It is regrettable that the Gaia's awakening has had adverse effect, and I will be happy to go to Titanfell and pay whatever recompense I must once my work is done.
To be clear, you came to a land that's not your own. You consulted with the people that live here. They said, don't muck about. But you did anyway because you know best. Is that about
Yes.
the thought of it?
In this particular instance, I would argue that yes, I do know best.
What's the difference between you and a despot, Drix?
I'm not trying to control anyone.
It's not about control. It's about doing what you want without the consent of those you're doing it for.
Hmm. And what would you suggest I do with the knowledge that I have?
Teach. You build consensus.
No, wait. Where do you build schools when they are swallowed by swamps? Or taken over by volcanic slides? Or consumed by raging rivers or tides? Or plagues from forests?
While I can appreciate your concern for the well-being of others and the need for immediacy, those who act on their own will, even if for the benevolence of others, without the consent of the so-called governed, are little more than petty tyrants.
Well, I will continue to meditate on that, Vigo. For the time being, however, I will do what I must do and what I deem is right to try and help the whole.
Of course you will.
Speaking of that, so if you're not coming with us to the Shadowfell, and I don't think we're part of this army for the Gaia and the conflict between the people of Eldaria, I'm still a little unclear, Drix, on what we're meant to be doing here on your invitation.
That is what you're doing here. He explained that you two, along with the other people he called, are the people that he called to be in this against this conflict that's coming.
I understand, but like, what does that mean? Like, is it just going to the continuing our diplomatic mission? That's like, what does that mean practically?
Yes, continuing your diplomatic efforts, connecting with the peoples of Titanfell and with North Vale, I think would be of most benefit. Getting them to see the reason of this rising conflict.
Okay. Anything else?
I don't think so.
All right. I mean, I'm not the one who makes plans around here. I don't suppose we're going charging into the Shadowfell immediately.
What I still don't understand, well, no, because one, we have not yet asked Armac if there is anything he can provide insight or supplies or otherwise to help us in the Shadowfell, so we will want to wait until he gets back probably and ask him that. And also we have to go back to North Vale and get some weapons with Phalite in them.
Yes.
So
At this juncture, We have no idea how long Armac will be in Titanfell, helping to clean up.
Well, that's
I
true.
don't think we're served best by waiting on Armac. Perhaps we should just head back to Northvale.
It sounds like we need to go to Titanfell. Vigo.
And do what?
I will go to Titanfell and consult with Armac.
Well, that's nice, right, Vigo? That way you don't have to go.
Wasn't planning on it, one way or the other.
Well, if we're going to consult with Armac, we would have had to instead of waiting around here, so.
Don't think anything Armac, that drug-addled old wizard, has much to offer us at this point.
It's not very nice. Armac is very resourceful.
He has provided us with some very cool things. You're not being very fair, and you haven't even been here for all of it.
Plus,
Fair
have you
enough.
tried his drugs? They're pretty great.
It's true. I am... What I am unclear on is how we are supposed to help the people prepare for the coming conflict, or even is that what we are doing? Are we preparing them for a conflict? Are we attempting to avert the conflict? What is it? What is our goal?
Until I can ascertain a more concrete way of finding the Gaia and trying to calm them, I think preparation is key. The first step, however, is getting anyone in any place of authority to understand that there is a problem.
Winning hearts and minds would probably
Yeah.
actually get us a bit farther than just taking unilateral steps.
That's exactly what he's asking us to do.
I am aware.
Great, we're all on the same page.
My advice would be to play to your strengths. Odessa, you are an intelligent diplomat. Dimitra, you are talented and clever and creative.
Oh, stop.
And Vigo, from all accounts, you are a master of deception. Use that to your advantage.
Oh, what bold insight. Thank you, Drix.
He's also very shrewd.
Sure.
You are. I'm trying to throw you a bone, Vigo. Come on.
Think I know what I am at this juncture.
Well,
Other than... Never mind. That was Mike.
Oh no, go on,
That
please.
wasn't Drix, that was Mike. Drix isn't the type.
I know.
Yeah.
well, we certainly
Okay.
have a lot to think about, and it sounds like we're leaving bright and early for Northvale, so let's get some rest.
Odessa, I have something for you. He goes over to his bag. Your questions about the Gaia. There's a lot of information out there. This author, and he pulls out a book, and I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to at least send you the cover on Discord. Now, I know what you might think upon glancing at the cover, but I believe this author has some sort of first-hand knowledge on the subject. And he hands you a book. Oh my God, where is it? I made such great artwork. There it is. The book is called... Oh my God. There, I just sent it to you. Oh, no, I didn't, because it's too big. Son of a bitch. It's called in the Ember Queen's grasp, and it is an erotic novel
Of course it is.
about a spellcaster who develops a somewhat carnal relationship with a fire Gaia.
Oh.
Something they refer to as a fire Gaia, anyway. And I promise I will send you the artwork. I just have to scale it down.
Is this a living author that I could
Yes,
find and visit and speak with?
I believe she actually resides in the upper district of North Vale. May I ask a favor? Would you get her to sign this for me?
Sure.
Thank you.
Now I need to meet this person. Do you have anything?
Vigo, you were not originally a part of my machinations, but circumstances being what they are, he presents you with a raptor claw necklace.
Yay.
These will grant the three of you safe passage into my grove.
Where's
It
that?
is on the far eastern side of North Vale, on the most easternmost edge towards the mire. Wander towards the mountain peak that looks like a claw, and you will find the edge of the grove.
What about me, Drix? Please tell me it's not the head.
You don't want it?
No, I can't animate it myself. And it seems like it would get my clothes messy and leak all over my delicious food. So.
That is probably true, and I can't imagine doppelganger blood tastes very good.
No, I am a woman of culinary insight.
Are you?
I sure am.
Generally, you eat what's ever put in front of you, so I'm not sure.
She said
Discretion.
insight,
Is that
not
not insight?
Yeah, she said insight, not discretion.
Fair enough. Suppose I won't question that.
Sorry, let me one thing at a time, and I will. Oh my god, never mind. I'll send it to you later, Meg. Yeah, Drix goes over and he goes into his bag.
Please stop the head. Please stop the head. Please stop the head.
He pulls out a flute.
Oh.
And he brings it over to you. This was given to me by a friend that I believe you have met. Cacao. Bugfolk.
Cool. Yes, I remember Cacao. Lots of legs.
Yes. I am afraid I don't have much of an ear for music, but you should get some use out of this. And he gives you a flute that has 3 charges, and it'll let you cast Speak with Animals on yourself or a target 3 times per long rest.
Oh, so Cacao gave this to you to give to me?
Oh, no, he gave it to me. I am not very good at music.
You should, next time you see him, tell him to call me.
What should I have him call you?
No, like just contact me, like send me a sending or a letter or something,
right.
just at some point, you know. He was fun to hang around with. We haven't seen him in a while.
Yes. Yes. Last I heard, he was getting in on the fighting circuit in the dark market.
Well, it's a couple of our friends who are now over in the dark market, Vigo.
Okay. Friend?
I'm just saying that we,
Who's
might
the
have
other
to
one?
go over there at some point.
Drago.
Well, you don't like the other friend.
So not friends, but
He's
people
our
that
friend.
you know.
They're our
Right.
friend.
Yeah, they're our friend.
So
Wonderful. Can't wait. My excitement is palpable.
I think you like Cacao better than you like Thrago.
Would be hard not to.
And you might like Thrago if you gave him a chance.
Doubtful.
Well, of course, if you don't give him a chance, it's never gonna happen.
Vigo is not
You can
open
actually
to
try
changing his
first.
mind about people.
That's not entirely true.
Prove it.
I'd have to have someone giving me the opportunity to change my mind.
That's what we're trying to do.
There
So far, my mind remains unchanged.
There is an admitted irony in a changeling unwilling to change their mind.
Right? He does not see it.
My mind is as malleable as my form if given reason to do so.
I think you must start
Prove it.
from an unsculpted place rather than have biases in order to be malleable.
You seem unwilling to take my point of view into consideration, so let's not be so hasty to cast stones in a room full of mirrors.
Your point of view does not contain factual information about specific people.
And that's why you fail to think about it. You can't conceive of facts beyond what you've already decided are there.
Nor
No,
can you.
you're
You have-
deciding that these facts exist when they don't.
Look, Vigo, you have talked to Thrago one time
Yeah, you're basing your
And you're
opinions on nothing.
That's in
on one conversation, right? Like, that's not really very fair. Your opinions on Drix, you're basing on a whole lot more. So I get that, right? But you're really, like,
Your opinions on Drix include assumptions you've made that I personally know are not true because I know him. So
that is also fair.
That's not.
Look, you're just making having a lot of conflict, Pico, based on not a whole lot. So I'm just trying to tell you that you need to be given it. You need to give these chances in order for chances to be had.
Thrago was ready to enslave or otherwise destroy a creature based solely upon stories that he heard second or third hand, or they heard second or third hand, excuse me.
What?
Again, you're
They-
not getting
Say more.
all of the context.
Let me finish. Thrago did not do any investigation on their own. Thrago did not.
Do you know that?
They specifically told us that they did. Very
What?
specifically said that all of their information about the creature that they captured for the Shrouded, no less, was based on stories and fables handed down from other people.
But
Which
you
is
don't know
exact-
anything.
Exactly.
But you don't.
Why my entire family was slaughtered.
But you don't know anything about Thrago's experience beyond that, and his experience with other things that he's hunted down, and the vast knowledge that he has amassed through that experience. I'm just saying you haven't given him enough of a chance. It's been one conversation, and you just need to meet him again and actually give him a chance, and to not shut down immediately based on one perception that you have.
I would completely be fine and have no question regarding your decision about this choice that Thrago made, except for what grace and forgiveness you extend to the man who slaughtered your entire family.
Don't get me wrong. I have no forgiveness for that man.
You defend him.
There's a reason he's dead. I understand, but I don't accept. There's a difference.
That difference has not seemed very clear.
Not my problem.
Well, one could argue your mental health is your problem, but it is also yours to choose to ignore. So, I'm going to bed.
Yes, I think a good night's sleep is in order. Feel free to use the sleeping quarters downstairs. I am going to sleep outside. Good night. Drix gets up from the tea table. He goes over to the table where he set his stuff. He takes the lantern and his staff, and then he goes outside.
Well, that was a lot. I think we should do the same and maybe over breakfast figure out what we are doing tomorrow.
We're going to Northvale.
Oh, great then.
Thank
Thank you, Odessa.
Okay, that is what we said earlier, but the first time I suggested we go to bed, so unless anybody has any other suggestions, that seems like the next stop. Back to the smith, get the weapons, go to the Shadowfell, figure that out, and hopefully that'll help calm down the whole Gaia situation.
Steps 1, 2, and 3. Let's hope it's as simple as all that.
Yep.
All right, we said we were going to wrap by 9. It's a little after 9. I have one more thing I want to do, and I need Katie and Meg to deafen themselves. It won't take long, I promise.
Oh no.
So as we're going to bed, we're moving along. Give me a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. 15.
It's not gonna quite knock you down, but suddenly on your thigh, it's like somebody has stabbed a knife into your thigh. And the sending stone that's in your pocket, that's been in your pocket for a long time now.
Okay, I'll pull it out.
You and your friends made quite an impression in Northvale.
All right, now I want to be clear. Is this like a telephone conversation or is this a recorded message that I'm receiving?
We'll telephone it because I don't want to go back on my word again.
Okay.
we can telephone it. I was gonna make it short and sweet, but feel free. Go ahead, please.
No,
I don't want to.
I mean, it's you tell me. I'll do whatever you want.
No, go, yeah.
I really now of all times you want to reach out to me now?
There have been some developments. You and I need to talk face to face.
Can't think of anything I'd rather do less.
Well, you know better. There's
I'm
an
not alone
abandoned.
Go ahead.
There's an abandoned farmstead on the outskirts of Northvale. Sundown. Tomorrow night.
And if I'm not there?
Well, there's going to be a lot of very warm fires burning in Northvale.
I'm not alone anymore, dearities. I'm not scared of you.
I don't want you to be scared. But we do have to arrive at some sort of understanding, you and I. The abandoned farmstead. Sundown. I'm sure that you'll have all sorts of ideas, and I'm doubly sure that they will as well. But it would be wise to come alone. But I will leave that decision up to you. Give my
wisdom.
Give my regards to Golden Boy Drix. See you soon, Puppet.
Katie's definitely not looking at you.
Yeah, Katie was not looking. Good. All right, that's it. Go away. All right, that's all we got this week. Thanks very much to my players. A lot of role playing, a lot of back and forth. I hope you all had a good time. It was an easy session for me because y'all did most of it. So we'll be back in 2 weeks. Next week we'll be back with another session of The Crypt Has Been Opened.
The crypt is
super
opened.
fun. The Crypt is opened. I make the title more complicated than it needs to be. But it's a super fun game. Yeah, what else we have coming down the pipe? Margaret and James and Katie?
Well, we have
Playground?
yes, the next 2 months
Ironbound?
for our Once Upon a One Shot. We have in June Ironbound, and in July Plaguebound, both done by Grimwood Gaming. And special thing about that is you, the audience, and our Discord community will vote after seeing Ironbound and Plaguebound which system you want to see on Tabletop Turntable. So we have Ironbound coming up in June, Plaguebound coming up in July, and we still need people to play in Plaguebound. So if you're in the Discord, check out the Once Upon a One Shot channel and put your name out there for playing in Plaguebound.
Yeah, we have swag merch too. Go check it out. ttrpgswag.com. What's the next part?
Pages.
/pages/Grimstone Gaming.
That's right.
Yeah, sweet merch. Thanks for hanging out. Never stop playing.
Good night.